believe I have removed enough stuff to start the cleaning up process. These drums need to get cleaned up before sandblasting. All this grease and stuff, that's no good for the sandblasting process. So gonna clean that up. I'll sandblast these as well. I'll just throw them back in there after wire brushing the lug bolts. So cool. Gonna get that cleaned up. That guy's later. I'm gonna pull these tires off of the rims and start to replace some rivets. These all look all right, but I'm missing some rivets. So we'll do that. We'll get those rivets replaced. This is the spare. No telling how old that is. Let's see here. That might be telling me 1984. Not sure. That sounds a little crazy. I'm gonna sandblast these hubcaps. I found some really neat hubcaps online that are actually on sale right now. They're stainless steel and shaped like this without the logo, and they're polished and they look awesome. But I don't think I should be spending money like that. So these are some cheapies that rusted pretty much right away. I'm going to sandblast these and paint them the same way that I'm painting the rims themselves. That might look kind of neat, and I've got it, right? It won't really cost me anything to do that. So this will be involved in the sandblasting and the painting. Somewhere in there is some bump stop brackets for Dweezil. That might have fallen down in there. The 5 rims, 4 hubcaps, knickknacks, 4 drums, 4 backing plates. I think that's gonna be enough. So let's get all that stuff cleaned up. Need to finish taking stuff off as well, and then be prepared for a sandblasting and painting party to happen probably this weekend. A few days have passed because things are pretty crazy in the nation right now. That has stopped everything. My work has been very busy. My heart really goes out to the folks who have lost their work as a result of this. Now it's just mid to late March right now, so I hope we're in the middle of it, not in the beginning of it. We'll all see together. But at any rate, I've got this weekend to get some work done, and I have a lot to do. I've ordered a bunch of parts that I'll need to complete the next several tasks, which have all arrived while we've been dealing with other things. So we'll check those things out as we go. But today, I want to remove the broken rivets off of these rims, get the wheel weights off, the valve stems off, and I need to do the brakes. I need to pull all the brakes off. I decided to go ahead and pull these backing plates off. I mean, they're fine and everything, but I just don't want to do it like that. I don't want to button all that up without having cleaned up and painted the backing plates. So those are coming off. Gonna sandblast them with the rims and the drums, and that'll be a day. I've looked up dealing with these clips, these hubcap clips and the rivets and replacing them and all that stuff. It seems that everybody kind of has their own method. So I'm gonna share my thinking on the issue and we'll just see how it turns out. These are the heads of the rivets. This is not the edge or the end that got peened down, right? So there's a lot of material here. I'm gonna go the route of grinding off material and punching the rivet through. So there's a lot of material to grind here. Back here, hardly any material to grind off. So that's very tempting. But the problem is that this is the peened area, and so if there's any chamfer to this hole or taper at all that's wider on this end, then that rivet is going to be sandwiched down there kind of in a cone shape, and that'll make it harder to punch the rivet out the other way. On top of that, this is the mounting surface. All right, this rivet, when it's peened over, has to be below the mounting surface so it doesn't interfere with how flat the wheel is against the drum. So I want to be careful on this side. I don't think I want to booger up any of this. So even though it's more material, I'm going to grind off this side and punch the thing through. Now when we put them back on, there's this handy dandy rivet tool here that leaves space for the rivet. And you can see it's roundy round there for the head of the rivet. I think I'll be using this thing to put the rivets back on after I sandblast. Maybe before I paint. That's kind of what I'm leaning to right now. That may be a stupid idea, but who knows. There's downsides to that because it's going to be difficult to paint under here. But you can't have everything. And besides that, all I want to do is preserve this stuff, and I think I can accomplish that with this approach. So let's get these old rivets off of these rims, the rims cleaned up, ready for sandblasting, and then we'll take some brakes apart. These wheel weights have a little hole in the back of them, and this pin here goes into that. So we grab the wheel weight like this, and then it slides right off. Wheel weight over here too. Boy, look what a mess this is. It's gonna be nice to have some paint on this. You can kind of see the outline of the rest of the rivet there. I think I'm ready to punch it out. I'm gonna have to be a little bit more careful. I got a little sloppy here and dinged up the rim some, so we'll see if I can do better on the next one. So that looks good. Looks like I didn't booger up the hole at all. Oh, look at that. It is kind of a conical shape, so pushing it out the other way would have been a bad deal. Here's the rivet. You see it does in fact have a mushroom shape to it, so going from the head of the rivet is definitely the way to go. Here's a new rivet lined up like it would be. Actually looks kind of skinny, doesn't it? Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit loose. So we sure don't want to make that hole any bigger. Let's do the rest of them. This one is not playing nice. Well, that works. Boogered up the rim again. That's not good. I'm thinking I might be wound a little bit tight. Since I've started, I haven't done very much. Except booger up the rim twice. I damaged a tool. It's a little bent. I could straighten that, but I don't usually do stuff like that. And then I smashed my thumb, so I'm gonna take a deep breath. Let's try again, right? This rim, we need to pull the valve stem out, and then it's gonna be good to go. I haven't really found a great way to do this without the proper tool. There's some big diagonal cutter thingies that'll take this right off, but let's try this here. This is, no, that's not it. Let's try this. I don't think that's it. There we go. Perfect. I'm taking a look at the surviving rivets and clips here. These seem to be in good shape. There's no need to replace every single one of them if they seem to be serviceable. So this rim only needed 2. Hey, that did not go well. Okay, that's a good one. We're on to something, folks. I think I'm gonna take him off. I'll give this guy a chance and this guy a chance, but he needs to come off. This looks like a replacement too. This rim is a mess. It might be most helped by the sandblasting and painting process. Smells like burning rubber. Time to get these brakes off of here so I can get down to this backing plate. That's the thing that I really want to paint, and some of this hardware. So we're going to paint some of the stuff that's underneath these brakes, and that'll give me an opportunity to clean up the brakes, replace this wheel cylinder because I'm pretty sure that's where my leak is, and generally check everything out. We'll do this on all 4. I think I want to take this off first. This is the e-brake cable here. Not my intent to replace all the hard lines. They seem pretty okay, but when I got in there removing the soft line, I noticed this little shorty between the T-nut and the soft line for the left rear. That's a little tweaked. All right, we want this line to go straight into the back of the fitting. So when I try to loosen this, it doesn't really have anywhere to go except to damage the line. So we'll try and straighten this out. If we fail at that, then we can replace this one. Don't want it to be like that. That's got to be one thing I like a lot better than what's on the bug. The bolt and everything on that clip on the bug is kind of a pain. So this is nice. It just scoots out the back and done. I'll take it. It's a long guy. So this little spacer is stuck. That's gonna be fun. I believe this spacer is supposed to just slide off. So here we go. Here's one of those situations where there are traces that I've been here before. I don't really remember doing this, but I'm pretty sure, well, I know I made this tool. It was in my toolbox, and this is the way I make stuff sometimes. I think it's gonna fit right behind that spacer and allow me to pull this this thing off of here. So that's pretty cool. I'm threading the bolts into the housing mount, like into the reduction gearbox here, and holding the nut in place, and then I think the nut, I'll tighten it against the gearbox. No, I'll be tightening it against the back of the plate, which sounds safer, and that'll pull everything out. So, yay me! I probably did this a decade ago. Time flies, folks. I think I just felt the spacer ease up a little bit. It's working. There we go. Ooh, that's a crazy spacer. Holy moly. Alright, so this is where the seal rides, so this is important to keep that nice. Oh, wow, even with all that anti-seize, yeah, I should have known I've been in here. It's covered in anti-seize. I'd do something like that. So even though I had all that anti-seize on it, it still got pretty stuck. Huh, alright, whatever. I think before I forget anything, I should do the other side. So we're going to do the other rear and then move to the fronts. On a side note, this little thing, this is where that snubber goes. The bottom of that, if you can tell, is pretty rusted out. So I need to replace both of these things. Look at this. Instead of using a clip, somebody just zip tied that brake line in place. That is crazy. We're gonna get that rubber line out of there. Okay. Woo! That one was a little spooky. We did not destroy this metal line. So sure that's supposed to come off like that. Nice. This is something to watch for when busting these metal brake lines loose. The nut came loose, but I don't think the tubing did. I think the tubing is twisting when I move this nut back and forth. So I'm going to see if I can get that freed up before I go any further. Otherwise, I'll just destroy the line. As usual, this is taking longer than I thought it would. I really need to keep going because I'd really like to get some sandblasting done today. So I'm going to get this last one taken apart and then clean up the pieces that I will be sandblasting and then get on with that. I need to get that done before dark. So here we go. A few loose ends that I don't like, but I'm running out of time to get the backing plate sandblasted, so I'll have to figure out what to do about this. I don't want to round off this nut here, so I don't know. Worst case scenario, I replace the wheel cylinders and the lines, and then I don't have to worry about this. But I would like to get this thing off gracefully. And I'd like to do it now, but I'll have to do it on the bench. So we'll go ahead and get this stuff taken apart and get the sandblasting done. It's kind of unfortunate that this slave cylinder casting is not clearanced enough for the proper wrench on that nut. That may be one of those things that you get when you buy German. This is a Varga, which I think is Brazilian. I can't fully seat this flare nut wrench on there because the casting is in the way. So maybe I could grind that back a little bit. Be worth a shot. All right, let's get these parts cleaned up and sandblasted. How do I look? I think I'm gonna run out of daylight, but I got one thing done. That rim is all set. Those two rims are very close. And these two need everything. So I'm gonna go again. Still have to do this stuff, all the drums, and the backing plates.